The RV Odd Couple. They quit full-time RVing to follow God's plan. This and a lot more. So stick around. What's up, blind viewers? How's everybody doing today? All right, we got some things to talk about. I'm going to go ahead and do a little, little review type thingy here. Let's start with DestinationOpenRoad. These guys haven't been around for a while, but they posted. Basically, I'll just say, if you like driving stuff, it's this is one's for you. Lots of driving around. It is pretty cool. I'm not one that's big on the driving videos, out the window stuff, but this is down after Katrina stuff around the Mississippi. So it is kind of interesting. There's a good old boy, a southern fella that they're riding with, and he's telling about, there was only a couple empty lots, now there's a lot more, and new houses, and talking about a Walmart getting wiped out and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, if you're into the, like I said, driving videos, yeah, but me, I'm not my thing. It's just not my cup of tea, but it is kind of interesting. I watched it for a while, but yeah, I can only do so much of that stuff. You know what I mean? All right, what we got? What else we got going on here? Well, I guess we have HappilyEverHanks. This is a channel I've been watching for a while, and they gave some advice that I don't agree with. Now, I do like their channel, and I'm not trying to dog them or anything, but yeah, they gave some advice that I don't think is very good advice. And it's all about fixing stuff yourself. See, what happened was, see, they went and their dump tank, the pull lever, it started sticking and getting all funky. So what they did was, they did what a lot of people do. I'll Google it. So they did a little quick fix, and they sprayed some stuff in there and then some soap and all this other crap, and it started sliding easier. But eventually it snapped, and now they can't dump their tanks. So they had to go and get it fixed. So, it's just, well, here.
Remember, guys, when you get out here on the road, you have to be your own advocate. When things go down south, which they will, make sure you're being your own advocate by trying to just diagnose it. Take a look at it. You have to learn on the go. We're not HVAC technicians or plumbers or electricians. The park ranger said he's on his way, but
who knows how long that could be.
We have no idea how long that's going to take, so. But Renee and I have learned a lot ourselves by just trying to figure it out. So do the best you can, and then research as much as you can, and then find these places to back you up, and then make it all come together. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, find these places to back you up after you spend a lot of time and a lot of money and everything. Now, I get it. Everybody does it. It's Google is your friend. Just Google it. Watch a couple YouTube videos, and you too can be an expert. Well, here's the thing. It's just, now, luckily, that was a little thing for them. So, you get something that's sticking a little bit. Well, I'll take to the internet. Oh, well, it said just squirt some soap in there, squirt some WD-40 in here, do that, do this. Well, what they don't know is soap, WD-40, and the like, that will collect dirt. I mean, it sucks it up like shit in a wool blanket, and it will make it even worse. So I don't know if that's a problem or not, but here's the thing. You went and you dicked around until the thing actually broke. And then you were in a bind. Now, I'm not saying if you are an electrician, or you're a plumber, or you were a carpenter, or you were a handyman, or whatever, and you have the skills and the knowledge, that's one thing. Or if you're a little bit mechanically inclined and you can kind of do things. But a lot of people get themselves in trouble because they Google it. They watch 2 YouTube videos. Now I'm a fucking expert. I have a degree. I'm gonna print myself a diploma and I'm gonna hang it on the wall because I watched 2 YouTube videos and I turned a screw or 2 and everything's working fine. Yet you put a Band-Aid on it. That's all you did was you put a Band-Aid on it. It's like saying, hey, I got this big giant fucking thing on my arm. Well, it's probably, I don't know. It's probably just a rash. I'll go get some ointment and put on it. Well, here come to find out, after 2 weeks of that thing not going away and getting worse and you starting to get sick, you go into the doctor and they go, oh, well, you got cancer. You know, if you'd came in 2 weeks ago, we could have probably treated it and it'd been a lot easier. But now you got to lose your arm. That's what you're doing. That's all you're doing with your RVs and your cars and everything else. It's, well, I watched the video. I saw it on the internet. And yeah, there probably are people that with lots of knowledge that can probably tell you the right thing to do. But as you are shuffling through the 50,000 things on Google and rifling through the YouTube video, well, that one's from 6 years ago. I'm going to watch this one from just 2 months ago. Maybe that one's better. Well, the guy from 6 years ago probably knows what the fuck he's talking about, but you skipped him and you went to the guy for 2 months ago. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just like you. He was like, hey, I had this problem. So I laid it underneath my RV and I twisted this thing and it worked. So, yeah, 6 weeks later, it blew up. But hey, I did fix it for a while. So this watch YouTube and just Google it and fix it. Yeah, sometimes you're just putting a Band-Aid on problems that it doesn't need a Band-Aid. It needs a fucking tourniquet and a bunch of stitches. But you find out later, like they said, well, just kind of fuck it up for now. And don't worry, you know, when it really turns to shit, just find a garage and hopefully they can get you in without waiting for 6 to 8 weeks. I don't know. I just think people rely on this shit too much. And I know you're an RVer. You know your RV. You know what you're doing. Everything's fine. It's a free, cheap, and easy life. We have a great community and we'll all run to each other and people will flock to me and they'll help me fix it. I know. But look, it doesn't always turn out to the best. It's just like these people that get solar system and go, well, I watched a couple videos and if that guy can do it, I can do it. And you're running fucking wires through shit. And well, I drilled a hole through the roof and I drilled a hole through here and I'm running wires through. What's the big deal? I plugged it all up. It works. Well, yeah. Then you start bouncing down the road. Well, you didn't put any grommets in and you got wires running through a hole in metal or wood. And as you're driving, it's jiggling around. And it's rubbing and rubbing and rubbing. Next thing you know, you're up to the insulation. There's bare wires, sparks and everything else and shit blows up. Well, I watched the YouTube video. It's this little dumb shit. And sometimes it's just, you know, just a little bit easier. You can save a whole lot of time and probably money in the long run, because before, you know, as you drive to the store and then drive back and buy some part and everything else, and then spend your time dicking around doing dumb shit and then going, I think it's fixed. And then a week later, oh, well, it's really not fixed. So you drive to the store, you buy something else, you come back, you watch YouTube, you go this, you do it again. And then a week later, it all turns to shit. Now you got to send it to the shop and spend $1,000 or $2,000 for some mechanic to fix it. So you got your $2,000 wrapped up plus the whatever couple $100 you got wrapped up in the other shit that you did just for fun. Just save your time and money. If you don't know what you're doing, don't fuck with it. Now, if it's something stupid, oh yeah, well this fell off. Well, yeah, tack it back up. Or, you know, if something stops working, you can look at it and yeah, just, it's nice to be able to fix things if you know a little bit about something, but don't be afraid to go, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Let me get it fixed right. And I think that far too many of these RVers, well, it's a van build. I built this thing and I went out to the store and I bought I bought some shelves at IKEA and I snapped them together and I drilled them to the side of my wall of my van. I know what I'm doing. I can build this thing. Well, look, this fell off. Oh man, a shackle fell off of my suspension. If I can screw a fucking shelf to a wall in a van, I'm sure I can turn this nut and fix it. See, people get too confident. They get too confident and they relied too much on, well, Google's my friend, and Google said, well, yeah, Google said you have a headache and now you have a brain tumor, but is it right? No, it's not. Do your due diligence and go fix your shit if you can, but if you can't, don't be afraid to say you don't know what the hell you're doing, and get somebody who does to help you fix the shit. All right. Enough of that nonsense. How about somebody who has some good advice? I found this I watched the other day. I didn't say anything about it, but I found this to be a very interesting and a very good, really good idea and tip and trick from Mr. Line Screw One. It's all about, when you're a nomad, you don't have that permanent spot and you're bouncing from place to place. And when you're going to the store, say you leave your RV or your van or whatever, or if you're in an RV, and you take your motorcycle or your car, or, you drop your fifth wheel, your trailer, and you take your truck somewhere and you go to the store or somewhere else, and you're by yourself and you're in an accident or something happens to you. They pull out your wallet. They see your address. You're not there. You haven't been there for a while. Who do they call? What do they do? Well, Line Screw, he has a nice little tip. I think it's a good one.
What I do, since I'm camping in different locations from time to time, I always keep a note in my wallet, because if I do become unconscious from an accident, I want people to know where I'm at, because looking at my driver's license isn't going to help you, because chances are I'm not at my legal address. Right. So I always keep a note saying where I'm at, and that I got a dog there that needs rescuing in the event that I'm in a accident and I'm unconscious or deceased. I would recommend you do the same thing too. Even if you're just traveling with your wife and you're on your motorcycle, you leave your spouse back at the campsite, something happens to you and suddenly they don't know where to find you, or at least your wife doesn't know how to find you, so to speak. But, I don't have to deal with the wife, but I got to deal with the dog and concerns for Sammy the Pooper's safety. So
Sammy the Pooper,
I'm always concerned about that. So
I found that to be a very, very good idea. You guys move from place to place and you never know where you're going to be. I thought it was a good idea. Just every time you change locations and you're out and about, make a new little note. I am here in case. Go get my dog, or tell my wife or my husband or the kids or whatever. But this is where my RV is. This is where my home is at the time. Yeah, because like you said, that ID, that's not where you're at. I just found that to be an interesting little tidbit and a very good little piece of advice. All right. Yeah, I see you, Billy. You like the people that do show your electrical stuff. I got one more little story I want to talk about, then I'll get over to you folks in the chat. So bear with.
Bear with. Bear with. Bear with. Back.
This one is, I'm going to talk about the RV odd couple. All right. This one's going to get a little interesting. I might piss some people off. So again, bear with. Now, these are the guys that bought the old RV park, and we're building it, revamping it. Thunder Canyon, I believe, is the name of it. So John and Mercedes and their daughter, they bought this place and they've been fixing it up. Okay, now in this video they talk about their how they met and how they got started and everything. And what I didn't know this, but apparently they were big time alcoholics. And as soon as Mercedes got pregnant, she stopped drinking. John could not. He was drinking way too much. And actually they met, I think they said, in the basement of a church, which is where the AA meetings were. But he just wasn't following, I guess, and he didn't stop. But anyway, they talk about all that. And so, and that's another thing about AA. It's, you have to accept God and all this other stuff. So now I know kind of why they might have been religious before, but now I know why they're such goddies. You know what I mean? So they finally got their lives together. And of course, through AA and accepting God and doing the 12 steps and everything. So now everything's God's will. It's God's plan. This is what God has to do for us, and God told us to do this and do that and everything. So now they got their Thunder Canyon thing after they started RVing for a while. But now they bought the Thunder Canyon. They have their Odd Squad. It's the RV Odd couple, and now they have their Odd Squad that follows them. So now after the purchase of Thunder Canyon, they started this little membership thing with different tiers, and they have the God Squad, which they're called the Odd Squad, but I call them the God Squad. Sorry. That kind of fund them. They said they have almost 1,000 members that contribute monetarily. And their RV broke down, and they took the RV in to get fixed. And while it was in there, it took a long time. They moved into a house temporarily until the RV came out. Well, while the RV was in there for over 6 weeks getting repaired, God's plan was for them to stay there and do this little RV thing. And well, here, I'll let you hear what they had to say. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, but well, here, just
and now this never would have happened without the RV Odd Squad. We had people give us $500 or $1,000 for this effort, just trusting that God was going to give us what we needed, and we got exactly what we needed at the right time to make this thing work. We now have a responsibility to those people, to those families who believed in us so much, that believed so much in this vision that I had about Thunder Canyon and the Boy Scouts and a Judeo-Christian park. Right? That our responsibility now is to stay right here in Thunder Canyon and make that a great, great success, not just for us, but for those families and all of us and the RV Odd Squad. Guys, we're growing and growing and growing in numbers. We're almost at 1,000 paid members now of the RV Odd Squad. Just different levels. You can go see that whenever you want to. But as we grow, the more fun the community's coming, the more people we're finding that are like-minded. The greater lengths people are going to come here and give their sweat and their labor to help us build.
So, I mean, now I'm not saying this. I'm not saying that it's factual. I'm not saying that this is the case. But exactly, that is what I'm saying. As an outsider who doesn't follow these folks, who doesn't know anything, an outsider that just listens to, oh, well, this is God's plan, and all these people giving us money to build our compound or, our little cult place. And I'm not saying that's what they're doing, but that's what it sounds like to an outsider listening to all this, going, it's like, all these people giving money. Now, just think about all these, the mega churches and the TV evangelists. Give me money. God's broke. God created the heavens and earth, but that bitch cannot hang on to $1. God needs your money. So it's just weird to me. It sounds weird. This, due to your guys giving me money, I'm doing God's will. This is God's plan, and you like-minded people come onto our little compound and our commune and fund this because it's God's will. God wants you to do this. God wants me to do this for you. So you, God. And I don't know. Again, I'm not saying that that's what it is, but as an outsider looking in and listening to that little speech and watching this video from the AAA, the AA thing with the alcoholism, and I turned my life around, and now it's God's plan and God's will. And I mean, I get it. You're religious, but when you get to that point where it's God's telling me to do this for all of you, so come give me money and we can all do God's will together, it sounds a little bit, and that's all I'm going to say. Again, I'm not trying to dog the folks. I'm not trying to say anything. I'm just saying, seriously, as an outsider, listen to that. It seems just a little cultish. I don't know.
This is BlindViews, and that's the way I see it.
What we do here is go back.
OpenRoad.